whoever at Sunderland came up with the slogan, "Till the end," deserves the biggest pay rise, but I'm also cursing them because it's not doing my heart rate any good whatsoever. Literally, the title of the video is kept going until the end, isn't it? Spoiler, I did miss a big chunk of the first half. So obviously, as you guys know, I'm actually in Manchester at the minute. And, you know, I'm here seeing me auntie and me two cousins because both of them have their birthdays around early November. I think it's the 7th and the 10th that both of them have their birthdays. So I'm always here with them. It's kind of a traditional thing. So this is probably the one home game I'm missing this season, but it was actually really good. And I mean, maybe I wouldn't be saying that if we'd lost the game, but no. So obviously I was in one of the local hockey clubs, and they had the game on. Then they switched it over to the rugby, and I was like, "You are joking." So in the end, I had to go and find a pub. I had to walk probably for about 10 minutes to go and find a pub that was showing both, or at least the Sunderland game on, or at least both of them. So thankfully I did manage to catch most of the game. So based on what I saw of it, I think that if I had to assess it, I think Sunderland in the first half generally did an excellent job of containing Arsenal. And look, I know the caveat, and I know there'll be people dying to say it in the comments probably. I do agree to an extent that maybe that if Gyökeres, because I rate Gyökeres very highly, and Gyökeres, Martinelli, Havertz, Odegaard, and there's a few others that I'm missing out of that as well. If they all played, I think it might be a different story. I think we might have ended up losing, but don't make me no bones about it. This is still a quality Arsenal team, and there's a reason that they are top of the division. And I think this is, and I was just talking to an Arsenal fan in the pub I watched it in, funnily enough, at the end, and said that actually I think this is their best shot of winning the division. Because I think Man City and Liverpool, for the standards that both clubs set, are not performing as well as what you would hope that they would be, or their fans hope that they would be. But the point I'm making is, in the first half, Sunderland did contain Arsenal in general really, really well. And I'll talk on Dan Ballard's goal. Obviously, it's sort of route one-ish from Robin Roofs. Obviously, Isidore ends. I think Ballard wins a header, who then heads it over to Isidore in the penalty area, heads it back into the path of Ballard, beats his man, runs through, and then just smashes it into the roof of the net. And you know, at that point I was thinking, no, come on, we're not beating Arsenal, surely. And at half-time I would say Sunderland did deserve their lead. But then I think, obviously the second half starts, and I was thinking, expecting to hold Arsenal and not have them score over 45 minutes is a very big ask. And unfortunately it proved to be the case in the second half. I think quickly though, obviously, but what I'm very impressed is the fact that that is the first time, I think, is it in 9 games in all competitions that Arsenal have conceded, and that's very good going for them. And I'm someone who believes that success is built from the back, and I think that if you're good at the back, you have every chance of building a successful team. But anyway, no, obviously half-time 1-0 up, and you're cruising right, happy days. One of the goals I can live with that Arsenal scored, and one infuriated me, and you can probably guess the one that infuriated me. The 1-1 goal, although actually to be fair, it's a decent little finish from Bakayoko Saka once it was a good bit of play from Arsenal, and decent bit of pressing, but I thought Lefebvre could have just easily booted it out for a throw-in or could have passed it. And I think, yes, I know in the end he's getting pressured by 2 or 3 Arsenal players, but I think it's just that split couple of seconds beforehand where he's dilly-dallying on the ball too much. And I love Lefebvre, I'm not going to hammer him for that, obviously, especially not when we ended up getting something. But what my point was more going to be that I just think against an elite level side, an elite level quality side, by the way, you don't do that. And I think maybe it's a little of an experience in English football, I don't know. But the second goal, and to be fair, when Trossard scored, I did think Arsenal did deserve the lead, because I felt like a game kind of swung in, the second half swung in roundabouts a lot. I thought Arsenal dominated probably the opening 30 minutes of the second half, really, which you kind of expected because of the quality that they do possess. But when Trossard did score, I thought, well, yeah, okay, fair enough. And to be fair, actually, to Trossard, that is a quality finish. Maybe if you're being ultra hypercritical, you could have maybe closed him down slightly quicker, but I think that's taken away from Trossard. With the finish, with the level of the finish. So I thought, well, all right then, fair enough. You know, Trossard's a really good player. Obviously, probably doesn't get into their main team at the moment, or at least I would say that, you know, when Saka, Martinelli, and everyone else is and Havertz and all that are fit, but he's still a quality footballer. So I think that's ultimately fair enough. And I think even before the equalizer, by the way, they obviously had the chance where they hit the bar from 6 yards. I think it was from not far off the 6 yard box. Or not far from the penalty spot either, but they hit the bar. Saka had a great chance minutes before that as well, which he put wide. So I was thinking the goals come in here. Like, we have probably rode our luck a little bit before Arsenal went 2-1 up. But then, so at first I thought, okay, Arsenal probably did deserve the win. But then when I look back at it, Sunderland actually did have a good shot at coming back. And David Raya, of course, made himself really big for a couple of Brobbey chances. One of which, of course, Brobbey was offside. in the build-up to it. So probably, even if we had scored that, it wouldn't have counted anyway. But and obviously, look, Arsenal in general have been very good at seeing games out. I watched them against Newcastle away. And obviously, one of the things I was noticing in that game is they were 1-0 down to like the 80th minute, I think it was. And then obviously when they went to an up, they're just really good at sort of grinding results out. And that's probably what they did at Burnley last week. But obviously, of course, a ball comes in. And I can't see. This is what I mean. I was so emotional when the goal went, and I've forgotten the build up to it and I've forgotten the details. But I'll talk on the finish from Brobbey. That was really good. Raya tries to come out while Brobbey's being hurled, by the way, closes him down, and he just kind of gets a foot on it. Really good technique, and then manages to just basically tap it in. Well, not tap it. That's a bit harsh. But put it into an empty net. And of course, I went mental when that equalising goal went in. And actually, like I said, the Arsenal fan who I did end up speaking to, we were quite amicable towards the end. Obviously, I was just buzzing that we ended up getting something. So I would say, did Sunderland deserve a point? Yeah, I'd say we did. I think Arsenal fans could make an argument that maybe they deserve to win, but I thought Sunderland did just about deserve a point. I thought we stuck in the game, we kept going. We did have to ride our luck a couple of times, but I think a lot of teams are going to have to do that against Arsenal this season. So all in all, I think I think this game for me was not. This is not a game that, for the ambition of, well, KLD is accurate, top 10, but obviously the main thing at first was like sort of making sure that we ended up getting enough points to avoid relegation effectively, hence the trend of the promoted clubs in the last couple of years of going straight back down. So for me, I think 21 more points. Was it 21? Yes, 21 more points towards survival. Let's make sure we get that, and I'm still going to keep on saying that until if and when we get 40 points. But yeah, buzzing with that. And I'm usually someone who hates dropping points when we've scored, when we've been in a winning position. But in the case of when you're playing against the elite and top quality sides in the Premier League, I think I can live with it, because Arsenal are very, very good. And if Arsenal don't win the league this year, then they're not going to get a better chance, I think. But yeah, guys, look, very good result. Very, very good result. And I think, and the last thing before I do end is, if you'd offered me at the last international break, before this 4-game run when we had Wolves, Chelsea, Everton and Arsenal, I said get to 15 points and I'd be content with that, because I expected to lose to Chelsea and Arsenal. And we've took 4 bonus points. I said Wolves and Everton, if we can get 4 points from those 2 fixtures, you're over the moon with that, really. Or I'm quite very happy with that. But to get 4 points from Chelsea and Arsenal is no mean feat. So I'm so proud of the boys for sticking with it till the end. So yeah, but honestly, guys, like I said, no, if any Arsenal fans are watching, and anyone watching in general, be respectful in the comments. And of course, if you're watching and you're not subbed and you think I've earned a sub, then like the video, share it around. That'd be much appreciated. And yes, obviously, I'm trying to get a 7K subs, so let's see if we can get that figure up. I think we're stuck on something like 6,200 and something. So yeah, let's see if we can get that number up. Anyway, guys, take care, stay safe, and like I said, fantastic point for Sunderland in the end. How are the lads? Till the end.